Welcome to the Speechie Show. Being a speech-language pathologist often means having too much work and not enough planning time. To beat the overwhelm, we're bringing you the tricks and tools that will make your job a little bit easier. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Speechie Show. We're here today to talk about your Wiggly Preschoolers and how to keep them engaged during some Storybook group activities. I'm here today with Lisette from Speech Sprouts. How are you today, Lisette?
I'm good. How are you, Carrie?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. If you guys are new to the show, this is the Speechie Show. We do this every Monday afternoon, and I interview a new speech-language pathologist each week, and we talk about one topic. We're going to share 5 tips with you today, and then we're going to do some giveaways here in just a bit. So if you're watching on Facebook Live with us, hang tight because we'll get to the giveaways. All right, so now's the part where we need you guys to comment and share and like so we can make sure that everybody sees this. So if you're on here watching, go ahead and type in a comment. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do you have Wiggly Preschoolers that you're working with right now? You can use the like button, or you can go in and type a comment with the emoji for the thumbs up. Wiggly Preschoolers, do you have them? Give me a thumbs up. Madeline says hi from Florida. Hello, Madeline. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today. All right, so we're talking about Wiggly Preschoolers, how to keep them engaged. Lisette, before we get started, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about you and Speech Sprouts?
Well, I'm a school-based speech-language pathologist, and I probably have about 20 to 25 preschoolers on my caseload at any given time, so we have several different programs for them. I started on Teacher Pay Teacher about 4 years ago, and my store is called Speech Sprouts, and I blog at Speech Sprouts Therapy. So I think that blog has been going about 3 years now.
Nice. Is that speechsproutsTherapy.com?
SpeechsproutsTherapy.com, yeah. And I also do a little bit of PRN after school, so working with adults and the older populations. So I do a little bit of everything.
Anybody else out there that's watching, do you do a little bit of everything as well? I feel like that is a common trend in our field, is doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, trying to make ends meet and, being kind of everywhere. So, all right, so we are going to talk today about what to do if you have a big group of preschoolers and you want to do a storybook activity with them, but you want it to be meaningful and you want it to be engaging. So before we move into our 5 tips today, Lisette, can you talk to us just a little bit about why it is important to incorporate those literacy activities for our preschoolers with speech and language delays?
Well, especially in the schools, our focus is building those oral language skills, which are so important for learning to read and literacy skills later on. So storybooks are natural, and it gives us an opportunity to work in all of our goals all at once. It's either cheap or free because I get most of mine from the library, so little cost there. The kids love it. And we can really work on those narrative skills at the same time that we're working on all of our other goals that we're working on.
And what was that research you were just telling me earlier about narrative skills and later development?
Right. Yeah. I had read that research is telling us that children with strong narrative skills, those narrative skills are a strong predictor of later success in reading and in school. So we really want to build those narrative skills. Don't forget those. Those story retelling skills are important.
Wonderful, yes. So we know we need to do it. We know we need to get these books in there, but it can be so hard when you have a group of Wiggly Preschoolers and they won't sit still to listen to the story and actually do the therapy activities you have planned. So the first tip we're going to share today is about incorporating gross motor activities into our sessions. So Lisette, you have a classroom specifically for children with speech and language delays, and you do these groups a lot. So tell me how that gross motor piece plays into your sessions.
Well, I have up to 10 children in a group, and I have a para that helps me. So we have a lot of little guys on the carpet. Anytime we're going to do a sit-down activity, I want to get them up and moving before we sit down and do that, because that helps just a whole lot. If you're lucky enough to have a smart board, which I have, it's fabulous. Sorry, the cat just jumped up. or you can do this on your computer. It's not a problem. I go to YouTube, and some of my favorites on YouTube, if you've never seen Patty Shukla's videos, which her last name is Shukla. Hers are awesome. Her jump video will get me winded. And we are all jumping and we're dancing. I also like the Learning Station. And there's lots of different videos on there, so you can search. There's many more, but I really like those movement ones for my preschoolers, and they love them too.
Perfect.
So
I will,
and then we sit down and we're ready.
Perfect. When I put this video over on the Speech and Language Kids website, I will include links to those YouTube channels, the Shukla's videos and the Learning Station. So we have those on there. If you are watching live, though, and you have a favorite motion movement song that you do with your preschoolers, go ahead and type it in so that we can have a good list in the comments here of the movement activities that you guys use. And I love this because my son has sensory processing disorder, and that strategy of getting movement in and getting some heavy work done before he sits down to do something that he has to focus, it's like magic. And I know it works for every other kid in the classroom too.
It really does.
Yeah, so that's great. All right. Madeline says, all SLP friends, live Facebook video chats. I'm not sure what that one means. You have to clarify on that one, Madeline. Okay, so our first tip then is to incorporate some gross motor activities before you sit down. And then our next tip is to pick sound-loaded books that have repetitive text and simple, relatable storylines. So tell us, Lisette, how you work that in when you're choosing your books.
Well, in my program, I like to choose a particular target for the week, and some of these kids in articulation. Some of these kids may need it this week. We're doing shh on the end. Some of them may have that sound, but we still focus, and that builds sound awareness, building the particular sound. Then when they come to me individually, we work on specifically what they need. So I need books that are loaded with a particular sound that we're doing for that week. It's not easy to find because they're not listed that way in the library. You may see a type that's, got fish in it, and then you look through the text and it doesn't repeat it very much at all. So my coworker and I, because two of us do this program, she does it at another school, we spend a lot of time in the library hunting books and looking through lots and lots of books, and we developed our go-to list.
Oh.
So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for sound-loaded books, and I love books that have repetitive text. The kids really, really enjoy that, and it really helps them with that story retell, and it helps engage them because when you repeat that text over and over, they all want to chime in.
Absolutely.
That's great stuff. So we developed a go-to list, and that's a freebie that's available to everybody at my store at Speech Sprouts on Teacher Pay Teacher.
Okay, so if they go to your Teachers Pay Teacher store, they can find a link to that list of sound-loaded books, right?
That's sound-loaded books, yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to add that link to the show notes over on the Speech and Language Kids website later, and maybe we can get it on the Facebook comments as well so that everyone has access to that. That's perfect. I know that I've tried to find books before and just been frustrated.
It is. You really have to just look through a ton of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, that a couple of years in the making for that list.
Yeah, you've saved everyone a ton of time. That's great. All right, Darla says, hi, Lisette and Carrie. Hi, Darla. Welcome. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're talking about how to keep those Wiggly Preschoolers engaged during a storybook activity. And we just talked about using gross motor activities to start, and then using some sound-loaded books and repetitive text to choose some books that are really going to be engaging for those preschoolers. Lisette just shared that she has a list of books that are specific for each sound, and Madeline says that it's a great list, so she must already have it. And you can get that over on the Teachers Pay Teachers store. Tina can't wait to get her hands on the list either. Awesome. Okay, the next tip we're going to share with you guys is how to discover the book together as you read. Lisette, tell us how this looks in your sessions.
Well, when we're reading with a story, we want to incorporate all of those goals. We want to work on those WH questions. We're working on all kinds of things, categories, et cetera, et cetera. But I find that if you're reading through the book and you read through the page and you go, okay, so whatever it was, in case of one of my favorites, Smiley Shark, so who ran away? Who swam away? Well, you get a one-word answer. So I like to use an I wonder statement. I'm wondering why the starfish swam away. And they're eager to tell you because they're going to help you out. And it's more of a conversation, and you can work on MOU, you can work on building those sentences, you can work on the syntax because you're getting longer sentences and you're eliminating that one-word response you get when you're quizzing children. So I do a lot of observation. That's what I mean by discovering those books together. Like, oh, look at that. I wonder what that is. How do you think gets there? Or I wonder what's going to happen next. Oh, did you see that? So we're really commenting on the story, we're commenting on the pictures, and we're wondering loud together. And we just really get engagement from the children.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love the idea of encouraging children to engage with the book as opposed to just drilling them. Because I feel like our children know that. They know when they're being quizzed. They know when somebody's trying to figure out if they know the answer. But if you're all just enjoying a book together and like, oh, wow, I wonder what's happening next. Or, whoa, what do we notice about the phone call come in? Hopefully, there we go. We're still going. So, yeah, I just feel like that's a really good way to engage kids. And it's just more natural, too. I think that's great.
It really is. And they don't feel like they're being put on the spot or quizzed. They're just all chiming in the conversation. You're having a conversation about this great book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's wonderful. Okay, we have Monet is asking, can we get access to the list if we're not teachers? She's talking about the sound-loaded book list. And yes, you can. You just have to go onto a website called teacherspayteachers.com. And you will have to sign up for a free account, but it is free. And then the book list is free. So you can just find the book list and you'll buy it, but it's free. And then you'll just download it to your list. And then you have access to it. So yes, you do not have to be a teacher to get that. Okay, if you guys have any other questions, please comment or type those in the comments and we'll be answering those as we go along. Also, stay tuned. We're going to be doing some giveaways here in just a moment. We have 2 more tips to share with you. Okay, the next tip then is going to be using props. So how do you use props, Lisette, for your group activities?
I love to use props because that really draws those kids in for a lot of reasons. So we like to use puppets. I like to use magnet board pieces. Sometimes if we're just doing, say, Goldilocks, I may be bringing in 3 bowls and some spoons, and we're going to pretend. But they're items that the kids can manipulate. It engages them in the story. And I also like to get the kids up off the carpet, up off their chairs. We're usually down on the carpet in a circle. And coming up front and engaging with whatever's going on, so that, again, we're getting the movement and they're relating to the objects that we're using. So I do a lot of turn taking. Hey, would you come and help me with this? And you come and help me with that. And we do. We act it out. We use lots of silly voices. When I'm doing, the monkey swinging in the tree, I've got a crocodile puppet, and that silly crocodile likes to try to snap each child, and they are so into it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
That's fun. Now, do you recommend reading the same book multiple times and maybe having it sometimes with props and sometimes without?
Absolutely. When we repeat those, a lot of people will read one story and they're done and they're moving on to the next book for the next session. Again, research is showing us that repeated storybook reading are very powerful for learning language. You notice your children are always asking for their favorite books, or they really enjoy that repetition. When you're rereading it with them, you can discover new things each time. It helps them engage even more because they know the story, and you can work on things like prediction because they know what's coming next. You go, oh, I think he's going to, and they're so proud they know the answer, so they're working on those prediction skills. You can take turns telling the story, so they're working on those narrative skills. It really helps our kids that struggle with those WH questions because they're familiar with the story. So it gives them that success while they're answering those questions. It's really great stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm nodding along because I have read the same books to my 3-year-old a million times, but he loves them. And I feel like he's learning more each time because he's able to build on the knowledge that he had from the first reading the next time we read it. So yeah, I'm there with you.
I would say read it, minimum of twice with your children. It does, sometimes even 3 and 4 times is great. And look at it this way, your therapy planning is simplified because you've already got that theme, and it's going to be really powerful for your kids.
Absolutely. Well, and I like the strategy that I have heard used for children with hearing impairment. I like this for all children, but they talk about presenting information orally first, then presenting it visually, and then presenting it orally again. And so what that does is it gives the children a chance to try to use just the language piece to form images in their mind of what's happening. But then if they didn't get it, you support them with using props or acting it out so that they can really understand it. And then you present it without those props again for the 3rd time, and that gives them a chance to rehearse what they just saw, what they just learned. And you kind of make a sandwich out of it so that they get that support while learning to use that information that's coming in auditorily. So I like that strategy a lot as well.
Definitely. I also like to follow up with related activities. We often do an art activity that goes along with a storybook. Like to make little books so that they can draw out the pictures and take those storybooks home and rehearse it again with their parents.
Yeah. Any way that you can get them to connect to that material in different ways and that story, that's going to build more connections in the brain and help solidify whatever it is you're working on. So that's wonderful. All right, let's see. We have a question from Tanika. She says, how do you manage behaviors when they arise during story time? Do you want to talk for a minute about how that looks in your group of 10?
Well, I do have a paraprofessional that helps me. So she sits behind the children, and if somebody's a little too wiggly or not attending, she redirects them quietly. I find that with the storybook, when you really have these guys engaged, there's not a lot of behaviors.
Yeah.
I might have some kids that are shouting out a little bit too much to the point where some other children aren't able to hear, and we kind of settle them down, and I close the book for a minute and say, whoops, we couldn't hear, so okay, everybody get back in place and catch your bubble. But, I keep them engaged. And like I said, we're on the carpet, and the story may take 20 times, but I'm getting them up and down during the story also. Come look at this, come show me that. When we're reading, I'm also, working on the literacy piece. I make sure every time we're reading a book, I go, okay, here's the title. I point it out. This is the author. This is what the author does. This is what the illustrator does. And then when we're working on a specific sound, we write the letters that go with the sound. This morning it was SH on the board. Okay, look at those. Look at these two. We need 2 letters to make that SH. And now I need somebody to come and look at this page and find the SH for me. And when they find it, we practice the word. So you're bringing those literacy skills in, you're getting them up and down, and it's awesome.
Yeah. To build on that, when I've seen group sessions that I've done, if I start to see a lot of behaviors, if it's like everyone's starting to have behaviors, that's a really good indication. Okay, maybe I'm not engaging enough. Maybe we're not moving enough. And so that might be a really great time to say, okay, now we're going to jump up and we're going to act out this scene in the book, because you're realizing that you're losing them and you got to try to bring them back somehow. Or if you're specifically seeing a problem with one student and it's a repetitive thing, so maybe Johnny is always having trouble sitting through your circle time activities and he's the only one losing it, so you know it's not the activity, then you may want to look at, okay, what other supports can we add for Johnny? Does he need a wiggle seat, like an inflatable cushion that gives him a little movement? Does he need a cube chair so he has some boundaries, physical boundaries? So you can work with your occupational therapist. you can look at other ways that you can support that child to be able to really focus on what you're doing and engage with you if they're not able to do it without some extra supports. So a few extra ideas there. All right.
And sometimes proximity can make a big difference. So you take that little one, and sometimes as I'm reading, I'll just tuck that little one between my knees. I'm tucking that one between my knees, and I'm still engaging that child, but being with me, now we're focused. So. Yeah,
and that gets them the proximity plus that feeling of something on your body, and some kids just need to be kind of tight and cozy. In order to focus. So yeah, that's my son. My son likes to be tight and cozy. All right, Madeline says little books are great for carryover. Absolutely, we were talking about that as well. Okay, we have one more tip, and then we're going to get to our giveaways and our fun resources. So the last tip is don't reshelve the book when you're done. Talk about that.
Right. And to go along with what we were saying before, do those repeated storybook readings. Get that book out. Get those children to retell the story to you. Engage in that. The second or third reading, you may be acting it out. You may be doing some new things with it. You may read it again and expand on it each time so that you are bringing in all of those goals. It's magic to be able to use those storybooks, because I hear a lot of people struggle with mixed groups. It's wonderful for that. So you're bringing in all of those things at once, and each time you repeat it, you're learning more.
Absolutely. Wonderful. All right. Those are our 5 tips for today. We're going to share some fun resources that are going to help you out and make this even easier. So, Lisette, tell us about your favorite resource for your big groups and your preschoolers. What's your resource today?
Well, I do really enjoy doing some book companions that go along with some of my favorite books, because we've just been focusing on some of our fish. One of my favorite stories, but this one is actually sound loaded with SM, Smiley Shark. I have this little guy over here. If you've not read this one, Smiley Shark is awesome. This is a sample of kind of some of the storybooks that I'm talking about. It repeats Smiley over and over and over in the book, so we can work on those as clusters. So I really, really love that story, and it's a fun little story about a little fish that, he was lonely, but soon everybody finally accepted him for who he was because he helped out everyone. And now he has friends. So it's got a great moral, and the children really relate to the story when it's got those simple storylines. I tend to avoid stories for the little ones that have way too much text. We want something simple. So I have a book companion for Smiley Shark, and to go along with the ocean theme, I also made a little reader that really focuses on who questions, and I call that one Diver Diver. So bundle that one together, and I'd like to give away the bundle today. So it's the Oceans of Fun bundle in my store has Diver Diver and the Smiley Shark book companion with lots and lots of activities. So
perfect. Okay, so that is the first giveaway for today is the Oceans of Fun bundle, which comes with the story companion for Smiley Shark. And if you would like to get access to that and you are not our winner today, you can go over to the Speech Sprouts Teachers Pay Teachers store, and I'll make sure to put links to that in the show notes for this video as well as in the comments for Facebook. And the second giveaway we're doing here today is for 2 free months in my membership program, the Speech Therapy Solution. And if you're not familiar with that, that is my exclusive program just for speech language pathologists. You pay a monthly fee, and in exchange, you get access to over 300 different training videos on all different topics. Anything you're asking about, we've got something in there for it. We have over 100 different worksheets that you can print and use right away in therapy. Plus, we answer your questions. We help you with your tough cases. We have webinars once a month. So all kinds of good fun in there. The second person to respond to my question here in just a sec is going to get 2 free months in that, and you can check that out over at speechandlanguagekids.com/join, JOIN. All right, so here's the question. I'm going to ask you a question. First 2 people to respond are going to win. First one wins the Oceans bundle. Second one wins my membership. So here we go. Type in the comments your favorite book for preschool therapy. And I want to see how many books we can get. We are doing this giveaway here on Facebook Live. So if you're watching the recording on the blog later, you can't participate. You have to be on Facebook Live to win. All right, Darla Gardner says, Brown Bear. That's a wonderful one. I love that one. So Darla, you are going to win the Oceans bundle. And Lisette, how would you like her to contact you to get that?
Darla can email me at speechsproutsTherapy@gmail.com.
Perfect. All right. Oh, they're going so fast. I can't even see. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Heather Kelly McKay, you got Hungry Caterpillars. That was your favorite book. Wonderful. And you're going to win the 2 free months in my membership. I can't remember if you're already a member or not. If you are, we'll just add 2 free months to your membership, or we'll start you out with 2 months if you're not already in. So you can reach me at Carrie, Carrie, at speechandlanguagekids.com, and my assistant Kenna will get you all set up with those 2 free months. All right, we also have another Very Hungry Caterpillar. If you give a mouse a cookie, I love that one. Guffalo. I don't know Guffalo. That sounds fun though.
Yes.
We got Split Splat. And Darla says, yay, thank you. All right, perfect. Everybody keep typing in your favorite books. We'll have a nice list of good preschool books by the time this Facebook video has circulated the internet for a while. So thank you all so much for participating in our giveaway, and thank everyone for coming and watching us today. And Lisette, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
We hope that, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to mention that on my blog, I do review different books, so some of those may be new and not necessarily on the list. If you want to find some fresh new books, check out the blog. There's a lot of good ones on there.
Perfect, and that's speechsproutsTherapy.com, right? Mm-hmm. Wonderful, so you can check out all kinds of different preschool books. All right, we hope that helped you with your tough cases, your tough wiggly preschoolers. If you need help with your other tough cases, head on over to speechandlanguagekids.com/join and check out the Speech Therapy Solution membership. We'd love to have you inside. And Lisette, tell us a little bit more about where we can find you and everything you've got going on.
Well, as I mentioned, I do have a blog at Speech Sprouts Therapy, so that's www.speechsproutsTherapy.com. I'm also on Instagram, and that's at Speech Sprouts. And my teacher pay teacher store is Speech Sprouts. So easy to find me.
Yes.
And I hope to see some of you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Lisette. We'll see you later. And thank y'all to you for coming. We will see you next Monday. And I don't remember what we're talking about next Monday, so it'll be a surprise. All right. See y'all. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us today on The Speechie Show. We hope today's tips have helped you feel a little less stressed and a little more confident about your work. If you're looking for more stress busters and confidence boosters, we'd love to have you join us in the Speech Therapy Solution, where you'll get access to a huge library of premium training videos and another library of print and go therapy materials. You can also get help with your tough cases by joining Carrie on the weekly Q&A calls or by posting in the exclusive Facebook group. Plus, group members can join us for a monthly webinar that can be used for continuing education credit. Head on over to speechandlanguagekids.com/join to check out all the amazing benefits of the Speech Therapy Solution membership. Bye for now.